Welcome into Bears Now. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. Today's show is presented by Aura, an all-in-one digital safety provider. What does that mean? It's hacking prevention, basically, online protection, and you guys need it, believe me. Free trial today, aura.com/chatsports, 14-day free trial. We'll tell you more about the benefits of Aura later on in the show and why you guys should give them a chance. Aura.com/chatsports. All right, let's get you caught up on the latest Chicago Bears news and rumors. Later on, we'll talk about the impact of Akiem Hicks leaving Chicago, so stay tuned for that. But before we get to that and some other stuff, we actually have a little trivia to kick off today's show. Jay Cutler spent 8 seasons with Chicago. How many of those seasons did he start all 16 games? Don't look it up. If you know the answer, let me know. 1 season, 2, 3, 4, all 8. How many seasons did he start all 16 games? And bonus points for anyone who can name the specific years that he started all 16 games. We'll revisit this later on. Trivia time. How many seasons did Cutler start all 16 games for the Bears? All right, let's get you caught up on the latest rumors and news around this team. So Chris Simms releases his annual top 40 quarterback rankings entering every season. He's in the 20s somewhat right now, and actually has changed his tune on Justin Fields based on this time last year. He has Fields as his number 23 ranked quarterback entering this season, and that is a change of tune because coming out of college, he had Kellen freaking Mond ranked higher than him as a draft prospect. He only ranked Fields as the 39th best quarterback entering last season. So that is a change of tune as well. And you're probably thinking, wow, he changed his tune despite Fields and the Bears offense kind of having a lot of struggles last year, although we've outlined how I believe that was more on the play calling and the coaching than Fields himself. But the answer is yes, he has changed his tune despite all of that. Here's what Simms had to say. There's a lot of wow with Justin Fields. He made a lot of wow plays, and not just with his legs, because his legs are gifted and he's as athletic as anybody in the sport as far as the quarterback is concerned. He's up there with Lamar Jackson as far as the ability to run and the wow factor running the ball. But I think the thing I'm most impressed with is by going back and watching is wow. Damn, he makes a lot of wow throws every game. And I think that's where I went, man, okay, Justin Fields, a little bit more of a polished passer, a little bit more control with some of the down-the-field wow-type throws than I gave him credit for. So, number one, kudos to Chris Simms for admitting he was wrong in terms of his evaluation of Fields entering the draft, talking about downfield accuracy being better than he thought. And number two, Chris Simms, if he can even recognize this and understand, okay, Fields, he jumped off the tape at times. He made some wow plays. That really goes to show how bad Nagy's offense was. I mean, it was an absolute disgrace, some of the stuff this offense was doing a year ago. Don't believe me? Check this out from Doug Farrar. Justin Fields had the NFL's highest passer rating with 138.5 on designed rollouts, and the Bears called them on just 19 of Fields' passing attempts. Matt Nagy is awful. Part $536,209,364. Hey, throwback. Thanks, Nagy. Once again, more evidence of just how much of a disaster his offense became over time. Maybe it was disastrous from the beginning, but it sure did seem to get worse and worse as the years went on. You draft a dynamic dual-threat quarterback, don't give him any reps, and then when you put him in the game, you ask him to do 5- and 7-step drops, very little play action and rollouts. It was a joke how they treated Fields a year ago, and that's why Matt Nagy is a glorified quarterbacks coach in Kansas City after getting an opportunity to be a head coach for one of the historic and original franchises in the National Football League. Can I get a thanks, Nagy, in the comments? I mean, come on. We got to bring it back. Producer Jack actually started this movement in the middle of last football season, so show Jack some love, show me some love, and show Nagy some hate by typing thanks Nagy in the comments. Not actual hate, but you know what I mean. It's thank God that era of Bears football is over. Get the thanks Nagy's trending down below. I will say this. Chris Simms is pretty confident that these numbers are going to change because you have a new coaching staff. You have a full offseason of Justin Fields being that dude, being that guy, walking around Hallis Hall and saying, I'm the starting quarterback, getting those reps, those opportunities, the chance to lead. We know what he can do as a runner, but if the passing starts to take off, and I think it will if they get him on the move, which has been a talking point out of camp, Justin Fields, they're gonna utilize his mobility. That's going to be a good thing. You guys know I'm a Justin Fields believer. It sounds like even Chris Simms has come around, and remember how harsh he was on Fields coming out of college? If he's come around, hey, Sang-Rae Kim, I'm looking at you. Maybe you can come around and give him a chance as well. All right, Bears fans, big challenge for you guys. First of all, thank you for 48,000 subscribers. We crossed that over the week, and you guys are fantastic. Number 2, my goal is to get to 50,000 subscribers by training camp, which will be sometime in late July. We don't have actual dates yet. Sometime in late July. Can we get there? Less than 2,000 subs away. We got about less than 2 months to get there. It's a challenge. I get that. Spread the word. Daily videos, news, rumors, OTAs breakdowns, mandatory minicamp in a couple of weeks. We'll have that covered. Trade stuff, free agency, live shows, mailbags. We're going to continue to bring you guys daily Bears coverage here on this channel at the link below, so share that with a friend, youtube.com/BearsNow. Subscribe. I want to get to 50,000 subs before training camp. Can we do it? That's my challenge to you guys here on Bears Now. All right, let's talk about Trevis Gipson, NBC Sports Chicago. Mentioned him as a potential X factor in this defense. Defensive line coach Travis Smith also spoke highly of Gipson. We'll get to some quotes from him momentarily. But I think, who I already like Trevis Gipson a lot. I believe I had him on my breakout candidates video, which went out. Go check that out, youtube.com/BearsNow. He should have an even bigger role than he had last year, which was already a mini breakdown since Khalil Mack is gone. I mean, this is a guy who had 7 sacks in his second season, 5 forced fumbles, so he really is a guy who can create turnovers, takeaways. He knocked down a couple of passes. I mean, I was impressed with what Gipson did in year 2 after really not even being active for most games his rookie year. That's why I boldly said I think Trevis Gipson will have double-digit sacks this year. It's just my opinion. I think he's ready for that. I think he's ready for a bigger role to be a full-time starter and not just a pass rushing specialist. I think Trevis Gipson's the real deal. I think is one of these rare, or not even rare necessarily. Ryan Pace actually did really good in 4th, 5th round drafting as the Bears GM. He just couldn't figure out all the other stuff. This was a good pick by him, a good player, and I think he gets 10+ sacks. What do you guys think? How many sacks will Trevis Gipson have this year? Predict it for us down below, and we'll talk a little bit more about what his role could look like coming up here in just a moment. But first, today's show presented by Aura. We told you guys, an all-in-one digital safety provider, and I know that sounds nerdy and techy. It's as simple as this. They're going to protect you guys against fraud, financial fraud. Hey, how many times do you get, called from your bank? Your debit card's been hacked, your credit card. It seems to happen every couple of years, if not more frequently. Then you got to order a new card. You don't have a card for a couple of days. You got to pull some cash out. It is a pain. They're going to send you real-time alerts on suspicious credit inquiries. You're going to get those updates if there's suspicious activity going on as well. And hey, let's be honest, we do everything online. I do my banking online every single day. I'm checking, hey, how's my account looking? How's things? Where's my spending? Where's my saving? All that stuff. We shop online. We work online. Everything we do is on the internet here in the year of 2022, and Aura is going to provide security for all that stuff. Your password protection, your financial protection, your email, social media, whatever it is, they will protect you. Aura.com/chatsports. We have a great deal. 14-day free trial. Aura.com/chatsports. I got going with them a couple of weeks ago. I have extended beyond that trial. I've committed to a monthly payment because they are that good. And quite frankly, you're going to save money in the long run because the reality is these hackers are pretty good, guys. And if you don't have protection, you're going to get hacked one day or another, and you're going to end up spending more money trying to deal with that stuff. Aura.com/chatsports. Check the comments. Check the description. Protect yourself online today with Aura. All right, let's get back to Trevis Gipson. Here's what Travis Smith said, the defensive line coach. Quote, he had a lot of ball production last year, and that's not 100% natural. That's not something that just comes naturally to everyone. He has good awareness that when you're an edge rusher, that if guys get high in the pocket, he can come back inside. Or if he has the edge, then he can turn it, where then he can affect quarterback and also go for the ball. So what he's saying there is not only is he, a speed rusher or a power guy, he has different moves, and he can read what the play is. If the quarterback's stepping up high into the pocket, he can spin back inside. If it's, more of a deeper drop and he's deeper in the pocket or a rollout, he can get the edge as well. He's a smart player as well as a talented physical specimen as well. And I think I look at this defensive line and, you got Gipson, you got Quinn, you got Muhammad. Sure, no, Mack's going to hurt, but he missed 10 games last year anyway with injuries. I think Gipson is poised to take that step, and if he takes the step I think he can with 10-plus sacks, then, this will probably be Robert Quinn's last year, because then you could trade him, get something for him, whether it's this year or next offseason, and you'll be good to go. I still think this pass rush can be good. We'll see if the Bears add another piece on the interior, especially after Akiem Hicks just signed with the Bucs. We'll talk about that momentarily. But this edge spot I still think is in a good position. Maybe you add a defensive tackle, and you're good to go. Now, who's going to have the most sacks out of these three guys? Because I think these will be the three primary edge rushers. Type RQ for Robert Quinn, type TG for Trevis Gipson, type AM for Al-Quadin Muhammad. Who will have the most sacks out of these three guys? If Quinn's healthy, it should be him, but don't sleep on Trevis Gipson. Get your votes in down below. All right, let's talk about the news of the day in the NFL and around the Bears. Akiem Hicks, a beloved figure in Chicago, no more as he is heading – well, he's still beloved, but he's no more in Chicago, I should say. He's heading to Tampa. 1-year deal, and quite frankly, up to $10 million in incentives. Good for Akiem Hicks. I did not expect that. Now, I have not seen the specifics of, what those incentives are. I'm sure they're heavily based on, playing time, how many snaps he plays and, production, but still up to $10 million. That's a good contract for a guy who's dealt with injuries in 2 out of the past 3 seasons. Great run for Hicks in Chicago. He'll always be loved by the Bears. 31 sacks in 77 career games, bunch of tackles, culture guy, leader. I think at times the face of this defense, even if he wasn't always the best player on the defense. This might be bold. This might be a hot take. This is one of the best Bears players in the 21st century. I really think so. When I think of the last decade or so, Akiem Hicks is one of the top names that comes to mind for this football team. I mean, who's higher in terms of when you think of the Chicago Bears? Obviously, this century, a guy like Devin Hester is going to be hired. Maybe a guy like Jay Cutler is going to be higher as well. A Matt Forte, perhaps. Maybe you throw Khalil Mack into that conversation. He wasn't here as long as Hicks, though. Akiem Hicks was the heart and soul of this franchise. Obviously, Lovie Smith is a guy we all think of when you think of the Bears in the 21st century, but he's up there, man. I appreciate his run. Good for him. He can chase a ring in Tampa while also getting some good money as well. Really good day if you're Akiem Hicks. If you're happy for him, I am. Type 96 in the chat. It was a great run here. We were holding out, some thought that maybe he would return, but not for that money. I can't blame Ryan Poles for not giving him that. I'm surprised he's getting incentives up to $10 million. Still a good player when healthy. Problem is he hasn't been able to stay healthy. All right, let's answer the trivia question. Jay Cutler, 8 years as the starter, only started all 16 games one time, and that was his first year with the Bears in 2009. Had a couple of seasons where he started 15 of 16 games, but he actually only started all 16 one time. So shout out to any of you who got that answer correct. If you cheated, well, karma will get you down the road. That's how life works.